You think you're built for cold weather when you live in Michigan, but did you know some people can actually wake up one day and realize they are allergic to cold weather? My goodness. Well, check out these pictures. That little guy might look familiar. Well, because he's my son. We just found out he has what's called cold urticaria. And get this, he's not alone. After we met with an allergist, she told us she's already seen 3 kiddos this season with a sudden allergy to cold weather. Now, we did get a cool face mask to keep the hives in check, but of course, none of this is ideal when you're a kid who just wants to play outside.
No, not really.
Why don't you like it?
Because I get some bumps and I have to wear it every single day in the cold.
How do you feel about having to wear the mask after school?
It's fun, but I just wanted to stop.
Poor guy. I know.
Goodness.
And who would have thought, right?
Right.
He was born here in Michigan, too, so you'd think he would have already been all used to the cold. But I did sit down with a doctor at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital earlier today to learn more about how cold weather can trigger allergies, because it's different in everyone. For some, it takes temps below freezing. For others, simply cold air conditioning or the freezer section in the grocery store can prompt a reaction. An allergy to cold weather. That sounds like it couldn't possibly even exist.
Yeah, it's a really unique thing, but actually you can have an allergic response to the cold. It's really the cold triggering your allergy cells, not through a truly allergic mechanism, but it behaves the same way, where you can get hives and swelling, and you look like you're having an allergic reaction to the cold.
Right, it definitely looks concerning. Is it something to really be concerned about? Now parents are going to want to send their kids out into the snow in Michigan.
Yeah, well, typically it's pretty reproducible, so if you do have it, you'll figure it out pretty quickly that if you get exposed to the cold, you'll usually get hives at the skin where it's exposed. And for most people, if you bundle up, you stay warm, you may need to take an antihistamine. You keep your symptoms under pretty good control, but there is a chance where it could be deadly. If you jump into cold water, you can have a systemic allergic reaction and make your blood pressure go low, and you might not be able to swim. So if you know you have cold urticaria, we say never ever jump into water.
Right, doing those polar plunges.
Yes.
The other thing, too, is are you guys actually seeing an uptick in more kids showing these kinds of symptoms?
You know, it's so rare, it's hard to know for sure. We always do see an increase around the time of the year where it starts to get cold versus in the middle of the summer. And hopefully with increased awareness, people will say, oh yeah, I probably do have cold-induced hives. But it's pretty rare, so it's hard to know if it's necessarily on the increase or not.
You know, a lot of people, they live in Michigan, they plan on going skiing, they plan on building snowmen, it's the winter time. Is there a cure for this? Is there something where there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you can think, well, hopefully it'll just go away? Yeah,
so interestingly, probably about half of people will outgrow this in 5 to 6 years, but to get you by in the 5 to 6 years, we recommend that you try to stay really warm and bundle up real good before you go out in the cold. You may need to take a medication like an antihistamine to try and calm the effects of the allergic response. And if that doesn't work well, certainly talk to your doctor about other things too.
All right, thank you so much. Certainly an odd thing to even think that you could be allergic to the cold in Michigan, of all places.
Yes, yes.